Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. Oh, man. You guys don't know how good that felt to give that intro, guys. It's been such a long while since we last did a show. Like, I almost forgot I had a YouTube channel for a second. I was like, hold it here. Shouldn't I be making videos? Nah, seriously, though. I've been super busy, so I really do apologize for that because, you know what? I do have a show that people are expecting to get some measure of entertainment from and information. I also have a Patreon and a membership, and people want to make sure that, you know, Strategic is okay. Now, I still have dropped some things for the membership and the Patreon. Have to show those people up because they are paying for that extra content, but I haven't had time to drop videos on the main show because I've been going crazy, ladies and gentlemen, but the semi-vacation has started. Why did I call it a semi-vacation? Technically, right now, I'm on vacation. Last night, my department had me working a festival where I worked 17 hours on my feet, minus 1 hour for a break. 1 hour break, 16 hours of work, right? Bananas, right? But whatever. That's a different conversation. Maybe I complain about that in the Patreon or something, okay? But I got some sleep. I woke up. You did a Patreon video, and then I did some yard work. And I'm like, you know what? We got to talk about this sheriff, man. We have to talk about this sheriff. Now, the only thing is we are on vacation, so you're going to get a ton of content from me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be dropping content like a beast, but you guys are used to that when I'm on vacation. You guys know how I do. I don't travel. I don't go anywhere. I'm a brokey. I don't have no money to go to Europe. I have no money to go to Aruba or Turks and Caicos. I'm a brokey, okay? I got to pay the mortgage, all right? So I work. I'm a workaholic, right? So you'll get a ton of content from me from this vacation. The only exception, we need to get a drum roll. The only exception is Monday. Monday, I've rescinded one vacation day because I have a very important arrest to make of an investigation I've been doing for 2 whole years. And finally, we've come to that point where we got our indictment, and this nasty boy is going to surrender himself with his attorney. So listen, can't talk about it, obviously. I can only talk about it vaguely, but this is near and dear to me. And I'm so happy to finally give that victim justice. So anyway, Monday, I might not put out no content, but every other day, expect 2 to 3 shows from me every single day. 2 to 3 shows from me every single day. Now, why are we here today, ladies and gentlemen? We got to talk about this knucklehead, Sheriff Marcos Lopez. You guys know I never liked this guy from Jump Street. When he first betrayed Madeline by putting her crime scene photos on the internet, playing games with them, trading them around, allowing, what was it, his press secretary or something, like the female, she was putting pictures of Maddie on her Facebook and stuff like that. I knew that karma's going to catch up with this guy. I told you guys that this guy something was wrong with him. I was like, this guy is unprofessional, You know, I did my usual strategic rant going after the guy. I went in on him. I didn't know he was doing all this racketeering, you know, whatever he doing, gambling and acting like he's a mafioso. I didn't know he was doing all of that. I'm not going to take credit for that because I didn't know. But this guy was doing some corrupt stuff, and it showed. He's so, you know, if you're sloppy on one end of the spectrum, you're most likely going to be sloppy on the other end of the spectrum. And I think this is Maddie's revenge, to be honest with you, because more so than anybody in the start of this case, that we have known Madeline Soto collectively as a culture because of her tragedy, he disrespected her legacy the most. He put something out not even YouTubers like me would put out. There's no YouTuber out there that I know of that has any type of integrity that would put out Madeline Soto's end-of-life photos. We wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. To what end? The only end by which it would serve is to make money. And if that is your motivation, you would put out her photos just so you could make a coin. You are a piece of ish. There's no YouTuber who would have put that out. He put that out. The sheriff of Osceola County. And guys, Osceola County, what is wrong with Osceola County, guys? How many S offenders are we going to find? Chomos and what are we calling them today? We're calling PD files. How many PD files are we going to find in that? Look, the sheriff got taken down, right? In Kissimmee PD, they fired the police chief. They suspended like 10 investigators and police officers. They arrested Madeline Soto's music teacher. They arrested Madeline Soto's aftercare, after-school program teacher. All of this in this one little county, ladies and gentlemen. All the cops are getting fired and arrested, and all the teachers are pedophiles. I mean, what is happening down? You guys understand, when this stuff kind of happened, that means you're only scratching the surface. You're only scratching the surface. If in Madeline's school, we've already got two pedophiles that are doing federal time. Federal time. It's the wrong one, man.
Oh, hell no.
There we go. I started playing my own music. The violence. In Madeline's school alone, in the year after her passing, we've already had 2 federal convictions of pedophiles in that one school. Not the school next door, not the high school, not the that is the elementary school, but not the preschool. In her school, the school she went to while she was alive, 2 pedophiles already. In her community police departments, we have over a dozen people who've either been fired or suspended for various reasons. What is going on down there? Well, if you don't remember this sheriff and what he did to Maddie, let me remind you now, and I almost forgot. This particular show we're going to do for educational purposes. Usually we do it for Usually we do it for educational purposes. This time we're doing it for entertainment purposes, okay? We're going to be reporting the news, but we are going to be giving our commentary. So this particular one will be for entertainment purposes only, okay? Mind you, I am a active duty sex crimes detective with 18 and a half years of, soon I'm going to have to just say 19 in a couple of months, but 18 and a half years of law enforcement experience, all right? Specifically, 14 years of doing sex crimes investigations on both the state and the municipal level. I also have my bachelor's degree. I also have tons of certifications, like I'm a crime scene technician, a level 1 fingerprint examiner, a read interrogator, various other interrogation classes I've taken so far. Listen, I got a ton of experience. I've done a lot of big cases. I do a lot of stuff. I do a lot of ish, okay? I do a lot of cool ish, all right? And I'm here on YouTube to talk to you fine people, because honestly, with all the cool ish I do on my day job, the coolest ish that I do is talk to you, because you guys are the coolest people on the planet. So anyway, I love coming here talking to the smartest audience on YouTube, an audience that teaches me, the professional, right? So if you can't humble yourself when you come on this platform isn't for you, because I am the professional, but yet I get taught every single day by you guys, because you guys are exceptionally awesome and intelligent. So it's a pleasure for me to come here and talk to you guys, because I take away from it just as much as you're taking away things from me. So that being said, YouTube, please do not demonetize us, okay? We're just talking about the news. We're a bunch of cool people, adults, talking about the news. So be nice, YouTube. Be nice. Now let's keep going.
A photo from a crime scene is posted on social media. The photo reportedly shows the body of 13-year-old Maddie Soto after deputies found her body on Friday.
The person accused of posting it, the Osceola County Sheriff. Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie is joining us live here in the studio tonight. So Hannah, Sheriff Marcos Lopez is now apologizing.
We want to be clear here. We are not airing the photo. It has since been deleted from the sheriff's Instagram page. But as we all know, if it's posted to social media, someone is going to see it and save it, which is how we got a copy of it.
How you apologizing? That's never supposed to happen. That's evidence. That wasn't just like a picture that was taken. That was literal evidence. Like, he literally mishandled evidence. If anybody else would have did that, they'd have got criminally charged, but he was the sheriff, so they let him slide. But you only get to slide by so many times until somebody come get you, till somebody come and get you. Let's keep going.
A crime scene photo seemingly leaked on social media, posted on the Instagram account for Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez. It appears to show the body of Maddie Soto. Former Osceola County Sheriff Russ Gibson, who is rerunning for the position against Lopez, confirming on Facebook the image shows Soto's lifeless body at the scene. The 13-year-old, the center of a 5-day search after she was reported missing on February.
You guys know how many dead bodies I've seen in my career? Some of them stick with me. I'm not going to lie to you. Please, nobody email me, ask me if I'm okay. I'm okay. Not saying that that's a bad thing. I appreciate you care about me, but I'm okay. I'm all right. I've seen a lot of people who are no longer with us in my life, and I don't want to see hers. I'm pretty much, at this point, desensitized to it, but I still don't want to see hers. Why did they want to see hers and they're not the case detectives? I don't know, but let's keep going.
February 26th. Her body found March 1st in a wooded rural area of St. Cloud. Here's Sheriff Lopez that night.
We did discover what appears to be a body. The body has clothing very similar to what the victim was last seen wearing.
We've reached out to the sheriff's office for comment. A response reads in part, quote, "A post was made on social media about a community event for seniors. In the post, an investigative photo was accidentally included. The photo was immediately removed. We deeply apologize for any confusion or disturbance this may have caused."
Now listen, somebody said I can't understand why he did that. Who said that? Jamie Brook. Welcome. How you doing, Jamie Brook? Thank you for being a member of the show. We got a lot of members in the channel. Appreciate you guys for showing love and coming out. I haven't done a live in a while, so it's always nice to see those green screen names showing me love. Anyway, I wholly and totally believe this was an accident. The problem was, like, they didn't purposely post Maddie's photo. The problem was that they were misusing this photo behind the scenes. They were trading this photo around like it was entertainment. And then somebody accidentally posted it on the Facebook, the Instagram by accident. I don't believe they purposely, let's go post Maddie's photo on this community page. That's not why nobody wanted to do that. My issue is, what were you doing in the background? You guys were sending this. Like, he contacted, I remember reading up on it. He contacted somebody who was involved with the case, like, yo, can you send me the photo? And the person's like, why? He was like, just send it to me. And they're like, okay. Because he is the chief, right? He's the sheriff. He's the head honcho. So people are not going to ask questions when the big bosses ask for stuff. You assume that they're doing it in good faith because they're the bosses. They have authority over there. They could just go into your case and take it if they wanted to. So my issue is what they're doing behind the scenes. And they were trading that photo around like it was a game, like it was entertainment, like it was cool. And that's the messed up thing. That's really what's messed up about this story. Let's keep going.
Also reached out to the state attorney's office to find out what legal implications, if any, the leaked photo may have. State Attorney Andrew Bain writing back, he is deeply disturbed that the photo was carelessly made public. And, quote, "While I do not believe these photos will have any evidentiary impact on the case as of now, they were released in poor taste. Our main focus is making sure we get justice for 13-year-old Madeline Soto."
All right.
As of tonight, Stefan.
All right, so we're going to go.
On Stearns, the prime suspect in Soto's.
Yeah, it's cool. We already know that. We talk about Stefan all the time on this channel. He's our favorite topic. All right, so I want to go ahead and now we're going to watch a little bit of his arraignment too, but let's talk about how he got in trouble. So inside the gambling operation that led to the Sheriff Marcos Lopez arrest. Let's do it.
And Eyewitness News at 6. Coverage you can count.
All right, so if you're not up to speed, he was arrested, okay? He's arrested. He's no longer the sheriff. He's been suspended or something like that. There's an interim sheriff. He's accused of operating a illegal gambling ring. That's the first. You don't really hear that. Like, you'll hear like drugs or gang violence, like they're killing people. Like, he was like mafioso. He was operating an illegal gambling ring. So let's find out what that's about and if there's anything else he was doing too.
On
Tonight on Eyewitness News at 6, Only 9 investigates Shannon Butler has the sources to bring the big story of the arrest of Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez after years of digging and asking the right questions.
Marcos Lopez is in federal custody.
And we were the first to show you the moment he was taken into custody in his
the feds got him, HSI, bro. The feds got him.
Sheriff's uniform, an arrest that took him by surprise.
This will mean that a new sheriff will need to be appointed.
And right now at 6, we have a team of reporters to break down the charges, his troubled past, who will take over his department, and what's next in his case. Our live team coverage starts now.
Damn, they hit him with racketeering. They trying to give him like 40 years in prison. Yo, guys, listen to me. When the feds hit you with the R word, because, listen, there is no RAPE law in the federal government. You can't get charged with that in the feds. Okay? When the feds hit you with the R word, they talking about racketeering. And if you get found guilty of racketeering, you go to jail forever. You never come out. They give you big numbers like 60 years in prison. And you already 60. So that means you gone DIE in prison. Come on, let's keep going. I gotta watch what I say. I want to have so much fun, but you gotta watch what you say on YouTube. But anyway, man, that's serious. When you see that top charge is racketeering, it's over. And when HSI gets you, I've worked with those guys before, Homeland Security Investigations Unit. I've worked with them many, many, many times. They build their cases very, very, very meticulously. They're also really good at stealing your cases. They never stole a case of mine. Never. They never stole an international ex-trafficking case that I built up from the ground up. They just took it and didn't even call me and say thank you. Nah. And even when I went to the USA, like, yo, I could testify if you. Nah, we good. We'll have the HSI investigator testify for all the work that you did. They never did that to me before. But that's a different story. Maybe we'll talk about that on the Patreon, but let's keep going.
We were there as it all unfolded here in Orlando early this morning, and we've been breaking new developments ever since. Good evening. I'm Martha Sigalski.
I'm Darlene Jones. The sheriff showed up there at a Homeland Security investigation office, only to be handcuffed moments later. There it is. On charges of conspiracy to commit racketeering at a massive multi-million-dollar gambling ring. Here you see on the left his mugshot taken as he was booked.
Bro, I wonder if they like ripped his patches off. You know, like in the movies when they like you dishonored you dishonored the whatever the uniform. I was slow on that delivery. Like rip it off, like rip off the stars off of his collar, like give me that. You know, the patches, disrespected the badge. Like, I wonder if they did that or they just like took his shirt off and like burned it. I don't know. Let's keep going.
Into the Lake County Jail, and video there on the right of his arrest. We have a team of reporters across Central Florida tonight to bring you every angle of this.
Somebody said my brain, bro. My brain be breaking all the time. You have no idea.
Major story from what's happening now to what's next. We start with Channel 9's investigative reporter Shannon Butler live at that federal building in Orlando. And Shannon, you were the first to break details here on air and online, and a lot has happened since just before 10 when you arrived there this morning.
Yeah, we're here where Marcos Lopez's Denali is still sitting here behind me. It took just minutes from him to go inside this building to the Lake County Jail. We know that because we were here when it all happened. HSI investigators tonight making it clear that no one is above the law.
No one.
Marcos Lopez walked into this federal building this morning, but just minutes later stripped of his gun and his badge, put in handcuffs.
Why did he go in his uniform? He's so stupid. He should have taken it off or something. Like, he went in there with his uniform. Maybe they didn't tell him he was getting arrested. Maybe it was like, hey, just want to talk to you, buddy. Just come on down here. We'll have a word with you real quick. We're going to talk about some sheriff stuff. Yeah, what kind of sheriff? You know, it's sheriff stuff. Come on down. We're going to talk about some sheriff stuff. And then he comes down there and is like, oh, hell no. Take that badge off. Take that gun off. You're going to jail.
And read his rights, asking agents what this was all about. What it was about was a months-long investigation for racketeering. Today, he was arrested and booked in the Lake County Jail. According to HSI, the investigation started in 2023. The allegations that Marcos Lopez was involved in a massive gambling operation, one that was up and running here in Central Florida, not only in Osceola County, but also in Lake County. It's also one that brought in more than $20 million. Investigators saying
Somebody said like he thought what? Who said that? Oh, Jamie Brooks says maybe he thought his uniform would help. Yo, I mean, listen, Sheriff, if they stole Strategic's case, all right, and took all the glory, they not gonna care about your uniform, man. I'm telling you, man, them HSI guys, they don't got no respect. They be like, yo, come on down here, man. We want to talk to you. Yo, give me your case, man. That's a good case. We taking that. No, listen, I'm joking. Well, I'm not joking. They did steal my case, but they did an amazing job catching the guy. And you know, now an international dude, I can't really talk about it because it's not finished yet. There's a lot of cases. As soon as they're like done, we'll have conversations about them. But really good case. Victim very young. HSI got his butt. I couldn't do the case obviously because I'm not a federal agent, so I needed HSI because this was internationals. But they did an amazing job. Aki's telling me shout somebody out. Let's see who's going on here. Erica G, what's happening? Erica Garcia, big shout out to you. Why are we shouting her out? You got to tell me why. Oh, okay, yo, she's recovering from heart surgery. Oh, yes, that is absolutely an amazing reason to shout out somebody. Erica G, big shout out to you. Wow, recovering from heart surgery. That is, you got to get a yay. Let's do it. Wow. They opened her up, they fixed her, they sewed her back up, and now she's gonna make a full recovery because we're praying for you. You're gonna be amazing. You're gonna get through this. It's gonna be a tough road, absolutely, but you're gonna get through it. All right. Listen. The only thing I can do is offer our love and our prayers for you, and we're honored and we're flattered that going through as much as you're going through right now, you still have time to check out True Crime with Strategic. Wow. 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 You know what, Erica? Email me so I can send you something nice, man. We'll send you some cool swag or something like that. I'll find something to get for you. So email me your address, Erica. We'll send you some swag. We'll send you something, all right? I'm ordering some stuff. If it doesn't come in time, I'll go ahead and just buy you something straight from Strategic like I did for PR. Get you something that I think is cool, all right? So email me. You get something sweet, all right? If you want, put your size too, because I don't want to get you a size small and you're medium or whatever. I want to get you something you could use, right? So make sure you email me, give me your address, all that good stuff, and your size. Let's keep going.
All started after Lopez took office in 2020. The gambling operations were allowed to set up illegally and run in his county, all in exchange for cash. Investigators writing, quote, Sheriff Lopez played a multifaceted role in expanding and protecting this illegal enterprise while using his office to shield the enterprise from law enforcement. He was immediately suspended by the governor, as others were also arrested.
Wait. I missed that. I was looking at some comments. How did he shield it from law enforcement? Sheriff also played a multifaceted role in expanding and protecting this illegal enterprise, using his office, to shield the enterprise from law enforcement. He's going to jail forever. Dude, he's literally going to go to jail forever.
Sheriff Lopez played a multifaceted role in expanding and protecting this illegal enterprise while using his office to shield the enterprise from law enforcement. He was immediately suspended by the governor, as others were also arrested. But this could be just the beginning. Investigators telling us more warrants are being served and more arrests could be coming.
Wow. Big shout out to Brilliant Sky 311.
Now, we were told that Marcos Lopez did not make a statement inside, which we could figure that out just as quickly as this happened. Like 3 or 4 minutes, he walked inside and was taken quickly by car to the Lake County Jail. We are told, though, there are more, quote, targets in this investigation. It's not clear if they are witnesses or they will be arrested, but it is clear this investigation is long from over.
Like they're doing a deep dive, man. Much respect to Channel 9 out there in Florida. They're really getting deep into this. This is top of the news over there. This is a corrupt sheriff, a sheriff that disrespected Maddie. And now he's getting his comeuppance. He's getting his karma. Don't mess with Maddie. Let's keep going.
County, Shannon Butler, Channel 9, Eyewitness News.
And Shannon, you were able to break this story after years of investigating this sheriff and his office.
Yeah, we first got a tip on this story probably about 6 months ago. We have tried since then to kind of work this situation to try to figure out just how many people were involved. As you know, the sheriff has had controversies before at that department. So we were trying to weed through exactly what may or may not have happened here. But today, those rumors came to be true as the sheriff was arrested here in Lake County, again, under investigation now for racketeering charges. Martha.
A major story in our community. And of course, you're leading the way. Excellent reporting. Thank you. Darlene?
Martha, now the suspended sheriff is not the only one implicated in this case. As you heard Shannon mention, there are four other alleged accomplices here. Channel 9's Ashlyn Webb is learning more about the people identified by the attorney.
Hold on. We got almost 412 people watching this live right now. We only have 162 likes. Now, I know a lot of you may be fans of Sheriff Marcos Lopez. You may not like the fact that I'm reporting on the fact that he's a crooked cop who's now getting his just deserves. But you got to hit that like button, okay? You're not hitting the like button because you like the fact I'm talking about a sheriff that you adore. You're hitting the like button because I have the courage to talk about it, all right? That's why we're asking you to hit the like button, okay? So all you fans of Sheriff Lopez who's watching the show right now and refuse to hit that like button, please hit the like button, even though you're a fan of Sheriff. Let me stop, okay? Hit the like button, help us get into the algorithm. We need that support. Appreciate you guys.
Attorney General's office.
On the club's TikTok, you can see Eclipse Social Club repeatedly promoting gambling. The social media page calls the establishment a casino with a lot, fish tables and computer games with daily promotions. You can see the wall of the building lined with at least 20 video slots and other gaming machines. But according to the court documents, this is where the five, including Sheriff Marcos Lopez, was involved in racketeering, an illegal gambling operation. According to the state business record, Sheldon Witherholt was the manager of this social club. Ying Zhang, who also goes by Kate, is listed. Witherholt, Zhang, and Marcos Lopez are accused of keeping the gambling house, unlawfully having slot machines, and setting up or promoting a lottery. State prosecutors say Sheriff Lopez and Ying Zhang were also involved with money laundering, so disguising the money collected from this illegal gambling operation. Two other women are listed in...
Did he really think he's going to get away with that? He had a whole casino in his county. He didn't think, this stuff can't be kept secret, guys, because I'll tell you what happens, right? It's a secret. It's nice. It's fun down there. People go, they're having a good time. They're gambling, they're making money. And then a guy comes in there like, oh man, I love coming here. You know what? I got a gambling problem. You know what? Let me mortgage my house and go for the big one because I know I'm going to win that slot machine. So I'm going to put 50 grand in that slot machine. Oh, guess what? He gets $0. Now he's 50 grand in the hole. You know what he's going to do? Do you think he's going to say, you know what? I'm going to keep this gambling place secret because it's my fault that I lost all my money? No, he's going to be pissed and he's going to go and report him to the FBI. That's what always happens. It's always a person who partook and then had a bad experience after they partook or felt that, they weren't treated fairly, whatever it may be. It's like when I did investigations in the prison system and I was investigating officers who were engaging in relationships with inmates. You know where I got my information from? I would usually get tips of a relationship when another inmate would try and flirt with that officer that inmate knows is messing with an inmate or other inmates. And when that officer told that inmate, no, I won't mess with you, it's that inmate who would then contact the Inspector General's office and report the fact that officer is having sex with other inmates. That's how we got our information. That's how we started our cases. It's always the guy or the girl or whoever that has a bad experience that ends up reporting or snitching, whatever you want to call it. There's no way you can have a gambling house and it be illegal and it be kept secret forever. It's not going to happen. Why? Because somebody's going to lose their money. They're going to get pissed off with the fact that they lost their money, and then they're going to tell on you. It's exactly what happened in this case. I guarantee you it's what happened in this case. Let's keep going.
In court documents as employees or agents of this operation, including Sharon Frederick and Carol Coate. Ashlyn Webb, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
We received a statement from State Attorney General James Othmeyer saying this is a solemn day for Florida and our law enforcement community. We put great trust in our constitutional officers, especially those who are our community's first line of defense. However, the law must be applied equally, regardless of position, power, or branch of government. Right now, the former sheriff is locked up at the Lake County Jail and will appear in...
Wait. Yeah, I think people are going to get mad at me. Don't blame me. It's not me. It's my toxic masculinity talking. You guys know that I do suffer from toxic masculinity. I tell you guys all the time. I own it. I accept it. I've been working on it. I've been going to therapy. I've been talking to a toxic masculinity therapist about managing my toxic masculinity. I've also taken a couple of pills for it too. All right? Toximasculonin, okay? To treat my toxic masculinity. So it's not my fault. I just have to say that when I look at this picture right here with the sheriff, he looks like he's going to have a good time in prison. I'm just saying. I'm not saying anything. If you say something, you putting words in my mouth that I did not say, okay? I didn't say anything. I'm just saying, when you look at his picture right there, he looked like he might find a great home in prison and be comfortable where he's at with some big diesel dudes. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's keep going.
Position, power, or branch of government. Right now, the former sheriff is locked up at the Lake County Jail and will appear in court later this month. This isn't the first time he's made headlines. He's been involved in several scandals. Channel 9's Sabrina Maggiore live at the Lake County Jail right now. And Sabrina, he is not the ordinary inmate there.
Yeah, Martha, because of his status, the Lake County Sheriff's Office says he's likely being held in a part of the jail away from other inmates. But like every other inmate today, he was fingerprinted and photographed. Information about his arrest also transferred online as part of that booking process.
No one is above the law.
Osceola County's top law enforcement officer could now face up to 30 years in prison. The now former sheriff will enter his plea for racketeering and conspiracy to commit charges during an arraignment on June 30th.
No matter if you are the lowliest criminal or a high-profile sheriff, everybody receives the same due process in the criminal justice system.
Marcos Lopez first joined the Osceola County Sheriff's Office in 2003 while still serving in the Navy Reserve, and went on to work various law enforcement roles, including patrol and criminal investigations, before he was elected sheriff.
So help me God.
He made history at the swearing-in ceremony back in 2021, becoming the first Hispanic sheriff in the state of Florida. But his
He was the first Hispanic sheriff in the state of Florida? For real, for real? Wow. No, I just find that interesting because Florida is so diverse and has a very big Hispanic community. I find it odd that, Floridians who are of Hispanic descent, I'm saying they should not be voting based simply off of somebody's race and ethnicity. I definitely don't support that. I support just getting the right person for the job. But I would imagine that in a predominantly Latino community, of which there are a lot of them, that they would have elected a Hispanic person who is a lawman before that. There's a lot to choose from. It's not like it's something that's a scarcity. I mean, just something that's interesting. I would never guess that he would have been the first.
Tenure wasn't without controversy. Lopez claimed to have accidentally posted a photo of 13-year-old Maddie Soto's body to his personal Instagram page less than 24 hours after the missing teen was found dead in the woods. Following FDLE's review of the incident, Lopez was added to the Brady list.
I have never seen where the top law enforcement professional was on that list.
The Brady list tracks officers who could be a problem if they testify in court because of bias, misconduct, or dishonest behavior in their past. And right now, Lopez does not have bond. Attorneys tell us that is not uncommon given the seriousness of these charges. Reporting live in Lake County, I'm Sabrina Maggiore.
Feds ain't even give him no bond, man. It was like, nah, man, you staying in here, bro. How you go from the head of the jail to being in the jail? That's crazy.
9 Eyewitness News.
We are learning more about the newly appointed Osceola County Sheriff Chris Blackman.
Yeah, Blackman is the chief of the Central Division for the Florida Department of Highway and now appointed sheriff as his career spans 3 decades in law enforcement. Channel 9 Scott Martin continues our live team coverage outside of the
His eyebrows are perfect, bro. They're like Manscaped.
Osceola County Sheriff's Office, and Scott Blackman spoke briefly just moments ago.
Darlene, I was the first reporter just to speak with him as he walked out of the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, and I'm going to step out of the way. He's right back here getting ready to speak with us some more here in just a moment. But I asked him exactly, how was he doing?
They replaced Sheriff Lopez with a Caucasian guy named Black Man. I'm just joking. I'm just being stupid. I'm being silly.
And he just said, things could be better. So we'll get some more remarks from him in just a moment. But I did learn that he has started here as a trooper, in 1990. That's when his career began. He worked here in Troop D as a DUI trooper, then a sergeant, lieutenant, and captain, all within Troop D. That includes Osceola County here. Here's some video of him walking into the Osceola County Sheriff's Office today after being appointed by Governor Ron DeSantis. I talked with a former public information officer of FHP, Kim Montez, and she worked with now Sheriff Blackman, and says that he was promoted to a major and moved to Tallahassee, but came back to Orlando a few years ago as a troop commander before being promoted to Central Region Chief. Now he's appointed sheriff, and she says that he knows this area well.
He was also the captain over Osceola, so he is very familiar with the agencies, the people within the agencies that work that area, because he worked that area for so long as a supervisor.
And again, he just walked out and said he would be speaking with us. So we're going to go chat with him and see some of the remarks that he has to say, and have that coming up later on WFTV tonight at 10. Reporting live in Osceola County, I'm Scott Martin, Channel 9.
Yeah, that was actually very, very, very informative. Extremely informative, man. Actually, it put like multiple videos in one. I didn't know they were going to do that. Big shout out to the research crew who actually put all of this together, man. We really appreciate all the hard work that you're doing, man. For real. Like, this is a big story. I wanted to cover it earlier. I just didn't have time. You guys know how that goes. Time is everything, right? Time is everything. All right, so let's watch the arraignment of the good sheriff, Marcos Lopez. Let's see what happens while he's in court. Let's do it.
And Your Honor, did you state that Mr. Lopez's attorneys were present in person?
Yes. Can you see?
Okay.
Yes.
And we haven't received a notice of appearance, so if you could just announce your name for the record.
Mary Ibrahim.
Yeah, you can say.
How do you spell that? I'm sorry.
That's okay. I be like boy, R-A-H-I-M.
All right, so you could, unfortunately, this recording thing is up here where the people are. You can see him a little bit, the second window at the top, right over the judge's head. This is the judge right here. Wish somebody just press OK so we can actually see the sheriff. But yeah, he's there, so let's keep going.
Okay.
All right, ma'am. Mr. Lopez is here.
Recording in progress. Good morning, sir. My name is Emily Currington. I'm a county judge who is here to do your first appearance hearing. There are 3 issues that I am here to decide. First, I will advise you of the charge or charges against you. You were here on a warrant that was issued by a judge who's already found probable cause to believe that an offense was committed and that you committed it. But I will advise you of those charges. I will then consider the issue of bond. In determining whether to set a monetary bond, how much, and any conditions of bond, I will consider a number of factors, including the nature of the offense charged, the potential penalty, whether you were on probation or out on bond for another offense at the time the new offense was allegedly committed, your ties to the community, your prior criminal record, your financial status, your employment history, any record of failing to appear at prior court proceedings, and the nature and probability that you might present a danger to the community. The third issue I will address with you is the matter of counsel. Your attorney, who has announced her name and presence for the record, is sitting to my left. She's not able to get into the jail, in the secure part of the jail where you are, so she came to my office, and she is.
Wait, I never seen that before, where the attorney is inside of the office with the judge. I'm not saying there's anything of any impropriety with this. I just never seen that before. Like, she doesn't have her own office where she could zoom in or something like that. That's really weird. I mean, you never want to, show too familiarity with, opposing with counsel, period, whether it be the prosecution or the defense. But this is different. But let's keep going. Not saying anything's wrong.
For that purpose. This proceeding today is being recorded. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say could be used against you in later proceedings. You have the right to communicate with your lawyer, with your family, and your friends. reasonable means will be giving you the opportunity to do that. Can you raise your right hand so I can place you under oath? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Thank you. Could you tell me your name, please?
Marcos R. Lopez.
Mr. Lopez, you were here this morning in Lake County case number 2025 CF 1479. It's a warrant that was issued for you for 1 count of racketeering and 1 count of conspiracy to commit racketeering. Attorney for statewide, I believe, is here. Would you like to be heard as to the setting of bond and any bond conditions? I know you filed a motion about the source of funds today, so if you would include that in your remarks, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, Your Honor. Panayota Papakos for the Office of Statewide Prosecution. As far as conditions, the state would be seeking an electronic GPS monitor as a condition of any release. We would ask that the court order the defendant to turn over his passport to the clerk of court. We would ask that he forfeit any and all firearms in his possession. And further, Your Honor, at this time, the defendant is charged with 2 first-degree felonies. So the state would be seeking a $600,000 bond as to each count for a total of $1.2 million. And I will go into essentially the criteria that the court has previously announced. First, the nature and the circumstances of the offenses charged justify this amount of a bond in this case. The state has filed an affidavit. I believe that the clerk filed it in separate sections because it is 255 pages. And so I provided it to Your Honor's judicial assistant this morning. And just some highlights that the allegations in that affidavit, the detail an extreme breach of public trust, the circumstances surrounding his misuse of office as the sheriff of Osceola County are very serious. Again, there's direct evidence in that affidavit of ongoing illegal enterprise. The weight of the evidence includes that the defendant obtained between, at the very least, $600,000 to $700,000 since 2020 from this illegal enterprise in cash.
I was talking to my kids, but did she just say $600,000 to $700,000 this dude made? Oh my God, man.
Payments.
He's making that PewDiePie money.
There is evidence in the affidavit of a wire transfer to a bank account he controlled through a fictitious business name. There's direct text message evidence from both WhatsApp and cell phone applications of his involvement in this enterprise dating back to 2019. Beginning on page 110 through page 148 of the affidavit, there are numerous text messages from the defendant directly to co-conspirators. The first co-conspirator being Miss Zhang, also goes by Kate. Those direct text messages evidence that he
had the Chinese connection too, bro. He had a Zhang in there too. Oh,
using his influence as the sheriff even prior to election, indicating he was very respected in his community to facilitate the illegal enterprise. There's screenshots of slot machines and things of that nature in those text messages. Of note, I would direct the court to page 175, where the defendant was actively sourcing new locations for illegal businesses to come in from Lake County to Osceola County. That began in 2021. And then further on, beginning on page 229, there are text messages between the defendant and co-conspirator Krishna D. O'Karen. Your Honor can see some of the affidavit is redacted, but there are photos of active law.
See, the thing is, the man has a lot of power, so he thought that his stranglehold on law enforcement and the county was going to shield him from accountability. Like, this guy is actively, it's not even like, all right, we got this one location, we're going to kind of protect it, keep it under wraps, blah, 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 blee, 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 blee. This guy was actually looking for other criminal enterprises to come and move into his county, of course, so he could get his cut and perpetuate the criminality in his own municipality. It's crazy. I mean, I never heard of that before. I mean, what he did is not remarkable. This has happened before, right? But for him to actively try and attract, like he was like the small business development corporation in his community. Like, he's literally actively trying to court more illegal businesses into the county. Wow, he was reckless. He was very reckless. He was blinded by his own power and authority. And that money, oh yeah, that money was making him not see reality.
There's some officers that have responded to those locations. I'm sorry, there's some some audio interference. There are photos evidencing the defendant's direct involvement and also using his influence to potentially obstruct criminal investigation into these businesses in Osceola County. So that would be the first two factors, the nature and circumstances, and then the weight of the evidence, again, evidenced in that detailed affidavit that was completed both by HSI task officers and the Florida Department.
All right, you know what? People do pop in like at random times. So Tai Chi is in the building, says, I'm lost. I got no idea what the video's about that Strategic is talking about. For anybody who popped in, we're talking about Sheriff Marcos Lopez, who was the sheriff of Osceola County. This sheriff was known for leaking the end-of-life photos, the crime scene photos of Madeline Soto on the internet, okay? I think that's where a lot of people got those photos, who claim, some of them claim they got it from other sources and stuff like that. I think the people who got those photos got it from the leak that was done when this sheriff's department put out Maddie's photos, okay? He has been arrested for operating illegal gambling casinos, whatever you want to call them, inside of his county. He's also been arrested for racketeering and stuff like that. So this is big. This is a massive corruption case against this sheriff who betrayed Maddie, and that's why it's Maddie's revenge. She got him. She got him, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is what she did to Sheriff Lopez. I wonder what she's going to do to Stephen Stearns. Let's keep going.
Of law enforcement. So there was two co-affiants in that case, with the understanding that this is a joint investigation. The defendant does not have any ties to Lake County that we are aware of. He has been suspended from office by the executive order of the governor. And moving on to subsection F, the source of funds, the state has filed a motion this morning, and I've provided it to the judicial assistant in its entirety. But essentially, this is a motion where we would be asking the court to inquire into the source of any funds that the defendant would use to post bail, or that you'd be using for collateral. Essentially.
Let me fast forward a little bit.
Anything else?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Abraham.
Your Honor, $600,000 is a very high bond for the nature of this crime. Mr. Lopez has no criminal history. He has extreme ties to the community in Osceola County, which is still within the state of Florida and not very far from Lake County. He does have a family. He was publicly elected for 2 different terms as a sheriff's office. He does have funds from working at the sheriff's office. This is a white-collar crime, a non-dangerous crime. There is no indication that Mr. Lopez would be a flight risk in any way, or that he would not attend any of his court hearings. He has employment history. He does have financial resources. He has family and friends that are supportive to him as well. We would ask that this bond be set in the amount of $25,000 in each count.
How you going to sit right next to the judge and she still tell you no?
As state indicated, he no longer has his position at this time, so a $600,000 bond for each count would be tantamount to no bond at this point. When speaking with his family, there was indication that $25,000 on each count would be affordable to the family.
Of course it'd be affordable. They got all that dirty money in the mattresses. Come on, let's be serious here.
Although Mr. Lopez has a title, we would ask the court to still look at Mr. Lopez as a regular individual, and not just because he has a sheriff's title that he should be treated any differently. This is a racketeering charge. These are first-degree felonies. We'd be asking that his bond be set in a reasonable amount that would be affordable to his family, and that each count would be set in the amount of $25,000. In terms of conditions, there is no indication that Mr. Lopez would be a flight risk in any way. Mr. Lopez would agree to turn in his passport. In terms of having a GPS, if Your Honor would like for him to have a curfew, I believe Mr. Lopez would comply with that. I don't see the need for a GPS. This is not a violent crime. He is not a danger to society. This is a white collar money crime at this point. GPS monitor, defense would argue, is not necessary at this time. He would comply with the conditions of no contact with any co-defendants in the case and surrendering his passports. Again, with the firearm condition, this is a nonviolent crime. He's not a danger in any way. He doesn't pose a danger to the community. So we'd just be asking Your Honor to set conditions and a bond in a reasonable amount. Thank you.
Anything else?
Your Honor, briefly, we have HSI Task Force Officer Frank Tagler, as well as FDLE Inspector James Frank was on the line. There, in the course of this investigation, they determined that the defendant has traveled to Puerto Rico and there are ties to Puerto Rico. So that was the reasoning behind asking for, first of all, with the understanding that it's still the United States, we were asking for a monitor.
Anything else?
And then no contact with the co-defendants. I don't believe that I said that.
You didn't, but Ms. Ibrahim mentioned it and I had it in my notes to impose that as a condition. Anything else, Ms. Ibrahim?
Just because he has ties to Puerto Rico or that he's been to Puerto Rico still does not indicate that he would be a flight risk or not attend any of his court hearings that are required of him. So we would be arguing against the GPS monitor as a condition. In terms, and Your Honor, my apologies, in terms of the money.
Now is June the 30th, so I'm sure your attorney will be in touch with you. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Is that the bond?
I'm sorry, somebody asked a question, I think. I'm not sure who.
How do I start the bond process?
So your attorney is likely to come talk to you in just a few minutes. She's probably going to come across the street, Mr. Lopez, and do that. If that doesn't happen, they're going to let you reach out to your family and to your friends.
Wait, did they get bond?
I'm sorry, somebody asked a question. The 30th, any contact whatsoever, and Mr. Lopez is your possession will have to be surrendered.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what I assumed to FDLE, and I will put that in my order that within 72 hours of any release from custody, all firearms in Mr. Lopez's your possession will have to be surrendered to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. You may not have any contact whatsoever with any named co-defendant in the case, and I will make sure their names are in the order. Your next court date for right now is June the 30th, so I'm sure your attorney will be in touch with you. Anything else? Agency, Ms. Papakos, do you think would be most appropriate? Florida Department of Law Enforcement?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what I assumed.
Legitimate funds to be able to use.
2 hours of release from custody will require Mr. Lopez be fitted with a GPS monitor prior to. All right. I am going to set bond in the amount of $500,000 on each of the 2 counts for a total of $1 million. I will require Mr. Lopez be.
All right, so he got bond. People saying no bond. He got bond. He got a total of $1 million bond, which means that, you know, you got to put 10% of that up. So, yeah, so he's got a bond. He's got a bond. Let's keep
fitted
going.
With a GPS monitor prior to his release from custody should he post the bond that I just set. Within 72 hours of release from custody, you'll be required to surrender your passport to the clerk's office for safekeeping, Mr. Lopez. You will be required to surrender any firearms in your possession to law enforcement.
Yeah, so he's got bond, and they should be able to make it. If he owns his house, they could definitely leverage the house to do the 10%. That's if, of course, if they don't have the money, the hard cash available, because they might have that money. He's made a lot of money from this illegal gambling ring and this racketeering thing that he was doing. So he's certainly going to get out. That's a fact. But that doesn't mean anything. I mean, listen, the feds are funny. Right? They'll have you walking around while the case is going, and then it's like, oh, you're guilty. 50 years in prison. Surrender yourself in 2 months. They don't even ask you to surrender yourself right away. They'll give you like 2-3 months to surrender yourself, and then you never get out of prison ever again. It's really weird how the feds do business. Like with the state, it's always like immediately, like you're locked up, you're done. With the feds, it's like, yo, you're guilty, no problem. You got 85 years in prison. Yeah, take 2 months to get your affairs together. We'll see you in 2 months, and then you never get out. Unless, of course, Kim Kardashian's great-great-great-grandkids fight for you to get released because of a technicality. Let's keep going.
Which agency, Ms. Papakos, do you think would be most appropriate? Florida Department of Law Enforcement?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what I assumed to FDLE, and I will put that in my order that within 72 hours of any release from custody, all firearms in Mr. Lopez's.
Somebody asked, where does the money go? The money gets sent back to you if you do if you go to all your court cases. The government is not trying to make money or isn't supposed to make money off of you posting bond. The money, if you go through a bonds person, then they're going to keep 10% for themselves, like as their payment. And then they'll put the collateral up for everything else or whatever. If you pay it out your own pocket to the court, and if I'm mistaken is what is, I never really had to deal with that stuff in terms of like when I'm dealing with defendants, so I don't really know for sure how the bonds people work, the bondsmen. But if you go through the courts, you put the collateral up, and if you go to all your court dates, whether you're found innocent or guilty, it doesn't matter, they will return the funds to whoever put the funds up. If it's your money, they'll return it back to you. If it's your family's money, they'll return it back to them. It is just to make sure that you return to court. Now, if you don't go to court, you miss a court date, then they'll keep it and it goes into the general fund of the municipality. It goes into the state fund. It goes into the county fund. It goes into the federal fund. It just goes into the whatever treasury of whatever court, whatever jurisdiction the court you're in answers to. So if you're facing a local charge from your local county attorney, it's going to go into those county funds. You know, if the state attorney's coming after you, it's going to go into the state general fund. If the feds are coming after you, it's going to go into the treasury fund. All right. But it's just to make sure that you return. The only time you don't get that money back is if you don't show up to court. But if you show up to court, they give you every single cent back. Let's keep going.
Possession will have to be surrendered to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. You may not have any contact whatsoever with any named co-defendant in the case, and I will make sure their names are in the order. Your next court date for right now is June the 30th, so I'm sure your attorney will be in touch with you. Anything else? No, Your Honor.
All right, that's very, very interesting, probative stuff. Somebody in the chat says, one thing I said, I'm not 100% because I don't really have to deal with that stuff when I'm dealing with perps. That's usually the defense side. But I'll take it with a grain of salt because obviously I have not vetted and verified what this person has to say. But T-Bone NA says 10% the court's treasury keeps. If you pay the whole amount, you will get it back. All right, so that's what T-Bone says, okay? But listen, this is the era of Google. Please do consider Googling it for yourself so you can find out exactly how it works. Wow. Whoa. This is crazy, man. This is definitely insane. Let me go ahead and see what else I got for you fine people. I can't stay too long because my son is playing in the back. He keeps coming up downstairs, smiling at me, doing funny things in the corner. In my peripheral, that's like, hey, Dad, I want your attention. I want you to come hang out with me. I want you to play with me. And when the kid says they want to play with you, they want to spend time with you, you better do it because they're going to get to that age eventually where they're not going to want to hang out with you like that. And then you're going to be bummed wishing you would have spent time with them when they wanted to hang with you. So we're not going to be here for much longer because I got to go spend some time with my little one. But I do want to read this article for you guys before we make a move, all right? So let me just bring this up real quick. This is the new sheriff dude. And let's just listen to him talk. We don't even have to read the article. Let's do it. Probably a commercial's going to play first. Let's see what happens.
Experience the convenience.
All right, so we'll pause that real quick and let that queue up, and then we'll actually listen since I can skip
and non-sworn to make this place run. So we will take care of this county like I have the state of Florida with the Highway Patrol.
When did you learn that this was going to be your new role?
This morning. I got a call this morning. Yes.
Sir, what was your first message when you walked into the office today with the men and women that serve here in Osceola?
So I told the deputies and the non-sworn staff that, again, this is a one-person problem. The sheriff was charged with RICO and corruption for the gambling. And assured them that everything's okay and asked them to take care of their employees and let's try to quell the shock that's going through the agency right now.
Go. What's going to be your position talking about immigrations? We have here a lot of residents from Latin America, so maybe they are worried about that. What is your position?
We're going to enforce the law, and the deputies will get 287G certified, like we have all of our troopers. And if you're here illegally, the president's already given the order for people, if you want to leave. You can self-deport. I can tell you we've worked a lot of cases. We did one last week in Tallahassee with the Highway Patrol.
Wait. The sheriff just got arrested for racketeering, illegal gambling, money laundering. like mafioso stuff, and they're asking this dude questions about immigration, and he just took over and embattled office, and they asking about immigration. What does that have to do with anything?
Oh, hell no!
We need to talk about the elephant in the room. The sheriff got arrested. What do you think about that, sir?
119 people. And I was on social media watching the content of the comments, and they were not truthful. That case started with a sexual battery of a 16-year-old female. That's what got us going and led us to the site. I can't discuss anything further about that case, but I put us there. But if you're here illegally, the president and the governor said you can self-deport. We're not running around and going to be looking for you, but we will enforce the law.
We never saw Lopez next to ICE agents like other sheriff. Will we see that now as this
I don't understand your question.
We never saw Sheriff Lopez next to ICE agents doing the raids here in Osceola County, so we never saw that. We will see that now.
I will be there, yes, if that's your question about ICE. I am a 287G sworn certified.
Listen. I mean,
Does that make sense?
maybe it makes sense to these folks. Like, once again, I'm not from this community, so maybe this is like the biggest topic for them. So I digress. I take it back. Maybe this is a really big topic for these folks down there that the previous sheriff was dealing with. And now that he's in jail and this new interim sheriff has taken over, the folks want to know what's going on. What are you going to do about this topic that's so important to this community? So on second thought, maybe it is something important for them to talk about, because maybe it's something that is definitely at the top of the list of the constituents that this guy is going to be serving.
Federal agent today. I'm also cross-trained with the United States certified with the U.S. Marshal Service. So yes, if it's an immigration enforcement initiative, we will be there.
For those who don't understand, what is a 287?
That gives you the 287G gives you the right to be a federal officer. I have the same law enforcement capabilities as an ICE agent or Homeland Security agent that enforces the immigration removal.
You have 35 years of experience with law enforcement, most recently Florida Highway Patrol in a leadership role there. What are you planning to bring to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office from that?
Stability, leadership.
How about you weed out all these PD files, man? Because they everywhere over in Osceola County.
Humility and trust in these employees to do their job and do it right. Again, I said we have a lot of great people here to do the job.
I don't know about all of that.
It's my job to put them in a position to succeed.
They got a lot of PD files over there.
And we're going to protect the community and protect the children, because I think protecting the children is paramount to me in all communities.
Respect. He's got his mind in the right place. He said protect the children, because he knows, just like we know, that is a pedophile hotbed. Like, if you can get like a heat map and you look at Osceola, it's going to be burning red. It seems like all the pedophiles get deported from other parts of America to Osceola County. You notice I said deported because that's what they say. There's a lot of pedophiles in Osceola, and we proved it. We pulled up the ex-offender list and we mapped it out. It had a map, and it showed so many of them concentrated around that Hunters Creek Middle School. So many of them. That's why some of them are creeping into the middle school and they working as the teachers and stuff like that. And then, we hearing so many of them getting arrested. Man, this is bananas. This is crazy. They probably got like the biggest SVU unit in the whole nation. Like, I'd be surprised if they don't have like 100 detectives working in their SVU. They got more detectives than in their homicide unit. There's so many pedophiles over there. It's bananas. He's got his plate full. He's got to work really hard over there because, wow, it's a cesspool over there. Let's keep going.
Is there going to be a further investigation to look into, see if anyone else in the department was involved in this operation at all, other than who has already been named?
The investigation is ongoing through FDLE. I can't speak anything further there, but the investigation is still continuing.
Rachel says she's calling from, she's watching right now, from Osceola right now. Rachel, am I lying? Am I lying? That's the question I want to know. Rachel, am I lying about all the pedophiles in Osceola County? Let's keep going.
Continuing.
What is your main concern about Osceola County at this point? Right now, what is your main concern?
Main concern about Osceola County?
Pedophiles.
Again, it's just crime and reducing the crime in Osceola County the best we can and working with the employees here to see that we can do that.
You said you just found out about this today. What has this day been like for you?
You ever heard of drinking from a fire hose? That's what today's been. It has been nonstop. I've had, just looked at my phone, there's over 500 text messages I've not responded to. I've got about 300 emails that I've not had a chance to respond to, and I'm trying to get out of here and head home so I can sit in a recliner and try to respond to my friends and family and co-workers from Highway Patrol and other agencies that have reached out to me.
How are the deputies here responding and reacting to the news this morning? With my understanding that they weren't even aware of what was going to happen.
They were in shock initially, like anybody would be. But once we've met with them and the supervisors here, we've expressed to them that everything's okay. It is a shock to the agency, a shock to the system, if you want to call it that. We're trying to give them the best information we could on where we're at and what's going forward.
Rachel says, you speak the truth. I rest my case. Let's keep
A lot of
going.
your career has been part of Central Florida, so what would you want folks in Osceola County to know about your commitment to this region and this area, particularly Osceola County?
I've been in Central Florida most of my career. Disappeared for 4 years and 6 months in Tallahassee as a major for the Highway Patrol there. Came back. I've spent my entire career in Central Florida. I have a family that's in law enforcement. Son that's a trooper as well. Wife is a retired captain with the Sheriff's Office in Orange. So we have a law enforcement family. So to the citizens of Central Florida, it's the same thing. We'll investigate any crimes in Osceola County and we'll take it to its 10th degree to see where it goes.
All right. That's really interesting. I think we covered every aspect of this, to be honest with you. We definitely covered the crap out of this, man. For real. I'm very disappointed in the sheriff, man. You know, I mean, it is what it is. You know, he's a sheriff. If you knew he was riding dirty like that, you shouldn't have put yourself in that position. You know, and he should have definitely taken more care as well, and how he dealt with the legacy of Madeline Soto. That put the spotlight on him. For all we know, somebody could have ratted him out simply because of what he did to Maddie. You know, he was riding dirty, and now he's got to face some music. He is innocent till proven guilty, though, guys. So, you know, nobody's saying that he's guilty. We don't know if he's guilty. We just know that he's been arrested. He's been charged. This man is innocent till proven guilty. He's most likely going to make his bond, so he'll be able to come out and to fight his case from freedom. It's going to take like 2 years for this case to get adjudicated. That's a long time. Anything can happen. Deals can be made. Cases can be dropped. Cases can be made as well. You know, like I told you guys, tomorrow I'm going back to work, even though it's vacation. I rescinded a day. I'm going back to work to finish off an arrest on a case that we have been doing for 2 years. 2 whole years we've been working that case in the shadows without this person even knowing that we're doing. Well, that's not exactly true. At some point they found out, but without them knowing the gravity of what we were working with, and now we're about to make the arrest, the surrender, etc. So these things take time. It does take time, right? We'll see what happens. He's innocent till proven guilty, but I am disappointed in him. I think he could have did a much better job serving the people of Osceola County, and the people of Osceola County need to be served. They need strong and ethical law enforcement out there because there's a lot of bad people that live in that community. There's a lot of good people that live in that community, and we should never, ever, 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 ever let the bad people overshadow that. There are good working class, middle class, poor class, whatever you want to call it, people out there who are just trying to survive and just make the best of the life that they have and always reach for the stars. I hope that you're always reaching for the stars, always dreaming. But there are some bad people out there too. And those bad people are giving that community a really negative light, especially because of the Madeline Soto case with that national spotlight being on that community. And this certainly did not help. It did not help. And he's supposed to be that bright spot of that community. And he failed them. He failed them. So now, when we look at Osceola County, we say the teachers are failing the kids. Why? Because we found mad pedophile teachers. The cops are failing kids. Why? Because mad cops got fired and suspended and the police chief got fired. When we look at Osceola County, we say, oh, there's tons of pedophiles in every facet of their community. If you look at the map, they're everywhere. And when we look at Osceola County, we say, oh, the sheriff got arrested for racketeering and illegal gambling. You just can't win, man. Osceola's in the dumps right now. But you know what? Hopefully things will get better for that community because there's a lot of good people who deserve to live in a community that's not being blasted by the world internet community. Anyway, guys, you guys were great. You guys are great. Rachel M says, the amount of people I know that have been assaulted or emmed as a child is insane. That's crazy that that's happening like that out there. But you know what? All this publicity might spark that change. You might get more funding for your law enforcement, better trained law enforcement, and then you might better monitoring of these pedophiles, and then you might start seeing a change in that community. So I think the spotlight is a good thing. But anyway, guys, you guys are amazing, man. I haven't done a video in a long time, but I'm so happy I was able to come on here and definitely share this story with you guys. Don't worry, guys. Remember, I'm on vacation. We're going to be dropping a lot of videos. So do me a favor, guys. I'm going to be putting in the work. Hard work I'm going to be putting in this next week that I'm going to be off from work. I'm going to put in the work. I'm asking for you to put in the work. I'm asking for you to remember to hit that like button. I'm asking for you to remember to give me some commentary in the comment section so we can get some engagement. I'm asking also for you to consider becoming a member of True Crime and Strategic, and also consider becoming a member of our Patreon, okay? We make sure that our prices for the added content that we have is the cheapest out there on YouTube. The Patreon is $5, and the membership starts at 99 cents. You can't find prices like that from any other YouTuber on this platform. And when it comes to Patreon, off the platform. Most Patreons start at $10. True Crime and Strategic is starting at $5. In fact, we only have one tier that's $5. That's it. That's all we're asking. So please consider becoming a member and a Patreon of this channel to assist us in our endeavor of staying on this platform, guys, and giving a voice to the voiceless. Lastly, we do have a merch store that is filled with merchandise. And those links have been posted inside of the chat as we've been talking and communing with each other. You also can find it in the description of all shows that we post on YouTube. So consider clicking that link, going to our store, and getting yourself some merch. And lastly, the very last thing before I get out of here, we have amazing mods. We have an amazing research crew. This whole segment was brought to you by the research crew. We're asking that you guys please consider, if you can, giving some coffee to the research crew, help them out, give them a nice little bonus. Every quarter, every 3 months, we divvy up what little money's in there and show love to the research crew and the moderators. It's just one pool for them. So if you guys are generous, you want to go and show some love to them and drop that coffee, you definitely would make somebody's day, man. You help somebody pay a cell phone bill or something like that. Who knows? So anyway, guys, I see you guys in the next one. You guys are amazing. I didn't even cue up the outro yet. All right, we queued it up. Once again, let's start that over again. I see you guys. You guys are amazing. Strategic is out of here. Peace.